We're going to go ahead and start our session today. Welcome to this webinar, virtual information session regarding our graduate degree programs in chemical engineering here at Northeastern University. My name is Jeffrey Hengel. I work in the Graduate School of Engineering in admissions, and I'll be your host today. We have several guest speakers, though, today, featuring Dr. Ming Su, who's the Graduate Director of Graduate Programs within the Department of Chemical Engineering. And so Dr. Su this morning will be giving an overview of the program. But we have others joining us today who are representing the Cooperative Education program that we offer within the Graduate School of Engineering. And the co-op program is one of the reasons why prospective students decide to apply and attend Northeastern University if they're admitted. Offers students the opportunity to gain some great industrial experience and earn a significant salary while they're pursuing their degree. And so we have a co-op faculty member who will be providing an overview of the co-op program as well today. And we have a currently enrolled student in chemical engineering who will share a bit of his experience being a student within the program. And so one thing I'd like to say today is you joining us today, a handful of you today, are a mixed audience. Some of you have applied and have already been admitted to the chemical engineering program. So to you, I say congratulations on your acceptance. You made it through a highly competitive admissions process, and we hope that your plans to join us are underway for the spring. If you applied for admission and you haven't heard back and you applied for the spring, then you should be hearing from us this week. We're finalizing all of our decisions on spring applicants this week. So thank you for your patience with this process. Others of you have applied for the fall, and so you won't be hearing from us for a little while. We start making decisions on fall applicants sometimes in January, but more often in February, March timeframe. And others of you joining us today may be just investigating our program, so we appreciate your interest in graduate programs at Northeastern University. A few introductory notes here. We ask you as participants to turn off your microphone and camera if they're on. That helps to minimize any background distractions or sound. Once again, use the chat function. There's a button in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. If you have any questions throughout our session today, please let us know. Your questions could be about the program. It could be admissions type questions. It could be questions about the co-op program. So feel free to type those in and we'll answer those before we end our session today. We're recording this session, and so so if you miss something that we present, you'll be able to access a recording of the session at some point later if you registered for this session formally. And that way we can send this out to others that we invited to this session today that couldn't join us. Once again, if you applied for the spring and you haven't heard back, you should be hearing back within the next few days. Thank you for your patience on that. But the majority of our applicants will apply by January 15th for fall 2018 entry, where classes begin in early September timeframe. So we encourage you to apply if you're interested. Whoops, my slides advanced a little too quickly there. Quick slide here about Northeastern University. Some of this information you already know because you're already expressed interest in Northeastern, but Northeastern is one of the best national universities in the U.S., currently ranked the undergraduate program at 39, and the rankings are important because that says something about the quality of the institution, the quality of the faculty, and the quality of the students that we admit. In my 8 years in my position, Northeastern University's ranking has grown by leaps and bounds, maybe faster than any other university in the same time period. And so Northeastern is really a great university, a great place to invest in your education. Graduate school itself also has a ranking. It's ranked also in the top 40. So rankings, there's a different scheme applied to undergraduate programs and graduate programs, but both of those areas are strong at Northeastern. The city of Boston is a great place. It's famous for its academic community. It's famous for its healthcare system. There's also a great deal of industrial opportunities in the Boston area. And so Boston is another great reason to attend Northeastern University. Wonderful place to live and work and study. for a couple of years as you pursue your degree. If you're a PhD candidate, you'll be here a little bit longer if you are admitted and enroll in the program. So once again, Boston's a wonderful city with a great deal of opportunity for our students. The Northeastern University Graduate School of Engineering offers a graduate, I underscore the word graduate, cooperative education program. We have a impressive infrastructure of faculty and staff that helps students to find industrial positions, 4 or 6 or 8 month positions where they're paid, they're working full time, and they're getting high level program related experience as they pursue their degree. So we'll be learning more about our co-op program in this session. By the way, we hope to take about 45 minutes of your time today, and in this very short period of time, you're going to learn a great deal about the program. Last on this slide is Northeastern has a fantastic career services office. The career services office at Northeastern has been cited as one of the best in the country for 5 consecutive years. All of this information on this slide means that Northeastern is serious about the career success of its students, and our graduates do very well. Okay, so with that said, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Dr. Ming Su, the Graduate Program Director, to tell you more about our programs. So at this time, I'll invite to the microphone Dr. Ming Su.
Okay, and good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, everyone, depending on where are you calling from now. And I am the faculty member in the Chemical Engineering Department. I have been in this position for graduate director for 3 years, and this is my 3rd year. And I have recruited over 100 graduate students in the past several years, and I'm planning to serve more and to help more students pursuing your dream at Northeastern University. And please, next. Yeah. And this slide shows the general information about our program. And our program can be divided. The research field of the faculty can be divided roughly into 2 fields. And one is advanced material, another one is biological engineering. And currently, the faculty members are doing research supported by different national agencies, including such as this DARPA and the National Cancer Institute, National Institute of Health, and the National Science Foundation, etc. And we have about a 3-to-1 PhD student ratio to faculty ratio. And currently we have about 80, this is last year data, we have 80 PhD students in the program and also 70 master students in the program. And the department of faculty and the students are collaborating with national laboratories and also industry and also these nearby hospitals. So the opportunities are really tremendous for students to explore their education. And also, as Jeff mentioned, Boston is very good for industry, especially for biotechnology and healthcare and other higher education things. And next, please. And our department chair is Professor Tom Webster, who is a well-known biomaterialist. And he has been the president of Society of Biomaterial for 1 year. And he is very active in research. And I am actually the graduate chair for the department. And I have a graduate coordinator, Ms. Sarah Doser, who is working with students every day on a daily basis. And we have a faculty member who is helping our students getting graduate fellowship, and her name is Abby Cox. And we have a new event coordinator, Emily St. German, and she joined us in August, and she will be able to help us doing a lot of event things. And we have a staff assistant, Pat Trotman, and she's in the department office, and a business manager, Ms. Kelly White, and handling about the hiring and also for international students, the I-20 firm, etc., etc. And we have a mechanist, and he can help you do a lot of things, and he is actually our lab technician called Robert Egan, and he's also ready to help our students. And we have a graduate student council for chemical engineering, and the president for student council is James Moxley, and he will talk about the graduate student council in a few minutes. And so the name is actually that's for last year. Andrew Spencer was the last year president, and James Moxley was the current president. And we have a faculty advisor for this student group, and her name is Anna Ebon, and she has been very helpful putting together activities for the graduate student council. Next, please. And this slide shows our faculty members. And starting from the left row, left top row, you will see Professor Nasima Anabi and Deborah Augusti and Sidi Benchriff, Rebecca Carey and Sang-Ho Cho and Professor Ano Ebon, and also Adam Atkinson. And the second row starts from Professor Heishan Finnery and Eddie Golak, Francisca Hong, and Learn Abby Cops, Ryan Cops, Caroline Lee Parson, and Laura Lewis. And the last row shows Steve Lastic, and learn the second people left us in the summer, and the third people is myself, and the first one is Richard West, and then we have Elizabeth Clark, and also the last person is what's his name? And, yes, Mukherjee from chemistry department. And then we have a new faculty joined us in the summer, and his name is Joshua Galloway, and his picture is not here. And the research directions of this professor covers mostly from biomaterials and energy, and also advanced materials and computational chemical engineering, electrochemical engineering, and also magnetic material, and also, let me see what else, and some of the biomedical engineering, etc. So the research field is really diverse, and we have each of the faculty will have about 2 to 3 PhD students working in their group, and also about 2 to 3 master students averagely working in one professor's group. And for master students join us, and he or she can choose to do a dissertation, or she can focus only on the coursework. So we call that dissertation or course-only master students. And I may have a chance to tell you a little bit more on this. Next, please. Okay, so this actually shows our master program. And the coursework, we have 4 core courses you need to take. The 4 core courses are mathematics and thermodynamics, kinetics, and also transport phenomena. And these 4 core courses are the foundation of chemical engineering. And above these 4 core courses, you still need to choose 4 elective courses. Or if you are doing for a thesis, you are working in someone's laboratory, you can do 2 electives, and then your thesis is going to be counted as 2 electives. And normally you can take 2 courses per term, either it's spring or it's fall, and so that your study will be 4 semesters. And or normally it's 2 years, because we do not offer graduate courses in the summer at this time. And in order to get a master degree, you will have to achieve a total of 32 credit hours. And so that basically means each course will be counted as 4 credits. And you can do a thesis or non-thesis option. And for just for your information is that most of our students choose thesis option. The reason for that is thesis option gives them an opportunity to work in a lab and to get their hands on research projects, and their chance of finding an employment after graduation is much, much higher. And I see students, and even if they only learned how to culture cell, and they can find co-op opportunities at nearby companies because there are so many biopharmaceutical companies at the Boston area. And for master students, you can choose either a full-time or part-time. However, for international students, you can only do full-time. This is to fulfill your I-20 requirement. And the part-time option is only available for domestic students. And other than this, you can also choose another to be affiliated with another program called the Gordon Engineering Leadership Program. And this is actually a selective program. And I talked to the program director one time, and this program is very good at educating the future leaders in industry. So if you had some industry experience before, or if you want to take some management position in future, and this is a very good program you can consider. And you will basically still be a chemical engineering master student, but you will choose 2 courses from this Gordon Engineering Leadership Program, and you will get a certificate for that as well. Next, please. And this basically shows our core courses, and mathematics, thermodynamics, kinetics, and transport phenomena. I don't want to repeat this anymore. Please, next. Next, please, Jeff. Okay, so this slide shows some examples of our electives you can choose. And remember, you can choose electives within the College of Engineering or outside the College of Engineering. However, there is a limit on the numbers of courses you can choose from outside of engineering college. And there is currently no limit on the number of courses you choose outside the chemical engineering program. So basically, if you think you want to do more courses from mechanical engineering, yeah, that's allowed. And just to give you some information of the most electives of ChemE students, and you can do this biochemical engineering, and also you can do cell tissue engineering, electrochemical engineering, biomaterials, polymer science, bioanalytical sensor, polymer, nanomaterial, advanced topic in biomaterial, and mechanobiology, and advanced topic in mass transport, etc., etc. The list is very long, and we are in the process of updating this list to reflect the current available courses to our students. And next, please. Jeff. Yeah. Okay, you skipped one. Next. Yes. Okay. So this is a new certificate program offered by a chemical engineering program. And the rationale behind this is that we see a lot of industry need for students with knowledge in process safety. And however, there is no current courses offered in many chemical engineering programs in the United States. So one of our faculty, Professor Ron Whaley, and started to do this process safety engineering graduate certificate. And this program is very unique because that's a very traditional chemical engineering field. And I see a lot of need in the industry for this, for students with this expertise. For instance, in a chemical engineering plant, the safety issue is very important. And also I see students in the insurance, with an insurance background. The reason is the insurance company wants to estimate the safety of chemical plant or related or units. So this is a very good certificate you can consider. Next, please. And also we have our graduate guidebook you can find out and online. And this guidebook shows basically almost all the information related to our graduate program. And also you can send us message to either faculty or our graduate staff and about your concerns and questions about the program. And we are trying our best to answer your question as precise as we can and also as rapid as we can. And also we send out periodical news and events letters. So some of these letters may be posted online so that you can also monitor our progress. And there are links to the graduate student council as well, and also the link to another student organization called Hackers. And so if you have other questions, you can also contact our graduate coordinator, Sarah Dosa. And you can find her email here and also her phone number. And next, please. Probably. Yes, and I guess this is the time James can introduce the Graduate Student Council. Are we still there? Is James Moxley there?
Yes, James Moxley is a student, a current PhD student in the chemical engineering program. And James, if you'd like to overview this slide, feel free.
Sure. So I was recently elected as the graduate student president for our council that we have within the department. The council serves as an intermediary between students and the faculty. We mainly serve in a few areas. We help students with questions regarding their academics and with regards to research. We also serve as a student resource for prospective students if they have questions for the department. So you can feel free to contact me at any time. We usually are pretty active within the department. We try to promote events that kind of integrate into student life, so that there's greater interaction between students and faculty and between students of the different labs. There are multiple labs that are on campus at many different research centers that are on campus. So we try and make sure that people stay connected. We make sure they're aware of all the resources they have available with regards to experimental equipment, both on campus and then also off campus at local universities like Harvard and MIT. And then also local research hospitals like Dana-Farber is a pretty prominent partner with our university, as well as MGH, the Brigham and Women's Hospital as well. But there are multiple resources that are available both internally within ourselves and then also within the local area. Boston is very well equipped for biotechnology research, and then also to an extent for advanced materials, as Professor Mingsu said. But if you have any questions at any time, I'm going to be sending out my contact information through this chat window, and you can feel free to contact me and I can address your specific questions that you have. And we're very happy to be talking with you today.
James, we have our next slide is also related, I think, to the council that you were just describing. So if you'd like to add any comments to this particular slide, and then since you've introduced yourself to our participants, I'll go ahead and ask you a couple of follow-up questions from your perspective as a current student in the program.
Sure thing. With regards to this slide, these are a couple of the events that we had off campus within the past few years. If you look on your top left, the Harbor Islands are a series of islands that are located right off the coast of Boston. Some of our students took a cruise out. These are prospective students who came and visited. These are recently admitted students who came and visited. They, I think this was about 2 years ago. We had them sail out to one of the islands. They had a picnic and spend a day on the island. And since this was within their first few weeks of coming to the campus, this is just kind of to introduce them to each other and also introduce them to some of the early faculty. If you look to your top right, you can see we have a Red Sox game that students went to. The Red Sox, they're a Major League Baseball team. Baseball is a leading sport within the country, and their field is actually relatively close to the campus itself. So I don't think we've gone yet this year, but it's something that we might possibly do over the course of the summer and the early fall of next year if you're here. And then at the bottom, we have the Minuteman Trail Bike Ride. I actually wasn't involved with this one, but biking is very popular, not just on campus, but also within the city of Boston as a whole. There's also marathons where you actually run that are popular. This Boston Marathon is pretty well known. I think it's internationally known. And we have students who participate in that, and we have students that participate in other athletic events around the city itself and with other universities, and we try and support them and come out and see them as well. And if you had any follow-up questions, I can answer them now as well.
Yeah, one question for you, James. I like to ask current students when they're talking to prospective students to, well, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where did you come from? Where are you from? And your background before coming to Northeastern University. And I like to ask current students to talk about one of their favorite courses or faculty members at Northeastern and why.
Sure. So again, my name's James Moxley. I come from the Eastern Shore of Maryland. So Maryland is also still on the East Coast of the United States, but it's a little bit farther south. It's a part of the Mid-Atlantic. I did my undergraduate and my master's degree at Johns Hopkins University, which is located in Baltimore, which is still in Maryland. It's actually very close to the nation's capital of D.C. I moved up to Boston, not this past August, but the August before. So I've been in Northeastern University for a little bit over a year now. I work in Professor Tom Webster's nanomedicine laboratory, and I'd say that he's probably my favorite professor that I've met with. He doesn't, in terms of teaching graduate courses, we only have 4, so he does not teach one of those. He does have strong involvement with the undergraduate, more senior courses, so there are senior design classes I believe he's pretty well involved with. He is a great person to speak with. He is very helpful in terms of if you need help finding a particular faculty member that has expertise in a certain area, or if you're looking for equipment that we don't have immediately within your own lab. He is a very good mediator, and he's also very good with regards to connections with industry and also local research centers. He is the chair of the department, so it is his job to kind of have contacts and promote research within the department, and he does that extremely well. He also has, with regards to our lab, it's a pretty large lab. So we have about 25 individuals that are currently active within the lab, and they're great resources in terms of certain students know skills, they know how to use particular equipment, and they know like experimental protocols. And he's very great in terms of finding people to admit that are interested in that particular field, are people that are very well versed in the field, or have a drive to learn more. So I would say that working within that lab and working directly with Professor Webster has been a very positive experience and has probably been the strongest experience I've had at the university. But all of our graduate faculty, whether they teach those 4 core courses or you just have interactions with them in terms of trying to learn more or trying to just kind of get a greater perspective for your research, they've all been excellent.
James, one more question for you before we move on with our talk this morning. I like asking current students, especially PhD students, because it's such a competitive process, and PhD students likely apply to a lot of universities, and then they, decide where to attend. When you were investigating programs, just curious to know what other programs you were investigating and why you chose Northeastern for your PhD.
I had always investigated specifically in chemical engineering programs. I had looked at a few other schools. I was originally attracted to Northeastern by having a direct conversation with Professor Webster after I had sent my application. I had another friend who had previously enrolled in the school as an undergraduate, and the discussions that I had with them during the course of our undergraduate programs, when we were discussing, it seemed as if the chemical engineering program at Northeastern was actively growing while my program was not. With regards to growing, the faculty within the chemical engineering program here is expanding rapidly. We're getting new professors almost every year, and their expertise are very diverse. They're attracting new funding to the university, and they're attracting new students. So it's a very interesting environment to be in where the chemical engineering program is already strong, but it's demonstrating, at least to myself, that it is significantly expanding within the past 4 to 5 years. With regards to that as well, as the system is growing and we're attracting new faculty, the faculty we have many of them are younger, and they're coming out of top schools, top research institutes, and the projects that they're developing, they're granting students greater freedom with regards to developing their experimental projects with their research. But at the same time, the directions that they're offering are kind of cutting edge, leading edge research within biotechnology and also in advanced materials. So I think the growth of the department itself and the prospects that it was demonstrating to me to where it was looking to go was the most attractive.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for your response. As James mentioned, he'll make his contact information available to you. I always encourage prospective students to Northeastern to always talk to faculty within the program, of course, and always talk to currently enrolled students to get their perspective. So that's why we invited James to this session today, and he's available to answer questions from his perspective as a student in the program. Quick side note on admissions, and then we'll continue with a talk on our cooperative education program. If you're admitted to our program, once again, congratulations. A couple next steps for you is to confirm your enrollment. You pay a $100 deposit, which isn't anything extra. That applies directly to your regular student fees. New students should set up their MyNEU student account, and that allows them to investigate course registration, and a whole variety of options available to current students, including Husky email address. So we start communicating through our official email system to new students. So new students should check their personal email, but also log in and check their Husky email if they're officially admitted. If you're an international student, students will initiate the I-20 process, and it's getting to be against our spring deadline. So if you're an international student and you're admitted for the spring and you haven't yet initiated that process, that deadline is fast approaching. Pretty soon, if you're admitted for the spring, you'll start to receive a bunch of emails from us regarding course registration and our orientation program. The first day of classes for spring is January 8th. Okay, so we're going to take your questions at the end of our session. So if you have questions for Dr. Ming Su regarding the program itself, questions for James Moxley, currently enrolled student in the program, you can type them in the chat window at any time, but we'll go ahead and answer those questions towards the end of our session. So let's continue our session now with an overview of the co-op program. It won't be Jessica Ormsby who's presenting, but rather another one of our co-op faculty members, Jake Walker. So at this point, let me turn the microphone over to Jake to talk about our cooperative education program.
Hi, everyone. Like Jeff mentioned, my name is Jake Walker. I'm one of the faculty co-op coordinators in chemical engineering here at Northeastern University. Next, please. And so here's just a nice graphic. You know, it gives sort of our philosophy on co-op. We work from a model of preparation, activity, and reflection. Next, please. And so just briefly, I want to go over, you know, what are the benefits to cooperative education at Northeastern? So obviously, one of the most beneficial things is our students who go on co-op learn, you know, is this a career? Is this the industry? Is this the type of role I'm interested in being in once I graduate? It helps build out your resume so that you can walk away with 4 to 8 months experience once you've completed your graduate program. Obviously, you're developing technical skills as well as professional skills. It's a really great way to apply what you're learning in the classroom directly to either industry or research. Like I already mentioned, in addition to the technical growth, you're obviously developing soft transferable skills while you're on co-op. And it's also a great way to network and figure out, you know, again, you know, is this an industry or role or area that you're interested in post-graduation? Next, please. Next, please. Thanks. So this is just a picture of the co-op faculty. They're graduate coordinators in every discipline. We work with our students one-on-one. Next, please. So just a little bit more on my role. I teach, and I'm also responsible, obviously, for grading the Introduction to Co-op course, which all graduate students have to take prior to going out on co-op. Like I mentioned, we work with our students one-on-one throughout the entire co-op process. We help advise on job search as well as interview preparation strategies. And we also help you work with the Office of Global Services, OGS, to make sure for international students that you receive proper work authorization prior to going on co-op. So we help you through the entire process. Next, please. So when you take the Introduction to Co-op course, these are the major topics that we cover. We cover resume writing and help you develop your professional resume. We go over interviewing skills, and that sort of encompasses any type of interviewing you may do from phone, Skype, in person, preparing questions for your interviewer, sort of everything you need to know prior to beginning interviews with our co-op employers. We also help you out with the job selection and application process. We help make sure that you have a LinkedIn profile and that it's attractive to our employers. And again, we also just help you prepare for the professional working environment outside of those technical skills you'll be developing in your academics. Next, please. So here's just a nice overview of what the graduate co-op requirements are. So obviously you have to be enrolled as a full-time student at Northeastern University. You need to meet the minimum GPA, semester hour requirements, as well as TOEFL requirements. And so those are listed in the link you can access below. But just for our references for chemical engineering, students need to have a TOEFL score of 95, and the minimum GPA to be eligible for co-op is a 3.2 right now. You also can't have any incomplete coursework on your transcript. To go out on co-op, you can't go out on the final semester as a graduate student. You have to have at least one more academic semester to complete before you leave the university. For international students, you'll have to have your valid I-20, and you will also need to complete the co-op course, again, prior to going out on co-op and receive a passing grade. Next, please. And so here are just a couple of pictures of some of the places our students have been on co-op. So we have students at a lot of the pharmaceuticals in the area, so students in wet labs. Very often our students gown up for clean room procedures. We have students working at tech companies, working in hardware and software. We have civil engineering students working at construction sites. So chemical engineers obviously don't tend to encompass all those areas, but we do have a wide range of industries and roles that our students fill. Next, please. So some of these are a little bit more civil engineering focused, but it gives you an idea. Some of our students will land at places like Akamai, Alnylam Pharmaceuticals, Sanofi, if you're familiar with them, and then lots of smaller pharmaceuticals. We also have materials roles, energy roles, sustainability roles. So again, our students fill lots of different roles across industries. Next. And then I think Jeff mentioned, I'll be happy to answer any questions at the end of the session. Thank you.
Okay, Jake, thanks for that quick overview of the co-op program. I'll say once again, the Cooperative Education Program is something very distinctive, and not too many other universities offer this type of program to their students. And so it's one of the reasons why students decide to attend Northeastern, to gain some really great industrial experience, and students can earn a significant salary while they're pursuing their degree. As Jake mentioned, there's still some eligibility requirements, so not all students that want to participate in co-op may be able to. And co-op is competitive, so not all students who want a position will end up getting a position. But hundreds and hundreds of students each year participate in our graduate cooperative education program. One thing I like to tell prospective students is that if you come to Northeastern University, you can benefit from all the great courses and the research that you're doing. You'll meet a lot of great student colleagues, but you also get the support of a pretty impressive infrastructure of the cooperative education program, faculty and staff that have a great deal of industrial knowledge and help students with their career path. Okay, a couple slides on investing in your career. Pursuing your graduate degree at Northeastern in Boston is a significant investment of time and effort and money. This will give you some sense for what the costs can be. The current tuition is $1,523 US per credit hour. As Dr. Sue mentioned, the MS program is 32 credits. Fees are about $500 per year. All students and full-time students in the state of Massachusetts are required to have health insurance, and so that price is around $2,100 per year for students that participate in the Northeastern University health insurance program. So the left side of this slide can give you some sense for what the academic costs would be, but certainly there are personal costs, housing and rent and food and all the other things that anyone needs while they're pursuing their degree. So sometimes we use a figure of around 70 or 80,000 US dollars as the total cost to pursue your MS degree in Boston at Northeastern for a couple of years. So it's a significant investment, but our students make the investment to get the return. They advance in their profession, they get the career they want, developing knowledge and skills, benefiting from the linkages to industry that we can provide through cooperative education and some of our other resources. Students are automatically considered for assistantships if they apply to Northeastern. Most assistantships go to PhD students, but a handful of them go to so-called MS/PhD students. So it's a MS level applicant who expresses a strong interest in research and a strong interest in pursuing the doctoral degree following the master's degree. For any student, whether you have a graduate degree, a master's degree currently or not, if you're interested in the PhD, we encourage you to apply directly to the PhD. Some students will earn a significant salary if they participate in the co-op program, so you can do the math on that too. If you get a 4 or 6 or 8 month full-time position in the middle of your degree and you're earning on average $20 or $25 per hour, if you add all of that up, you could earn, you know, maybe $25,000 or more, which can maybe defray a third of your education costs. So there are less expensive universities out there than Northeastern University, but if a student is able to be successful in getting a co-op position, they can actually get some great experience and defray a lot of those education costs. If you're a master's level student, the vast majority of MS level students will fund their degree entirely on their own using personal and family funds or sources of finances outside of the university like private loans. But some MS level students will get a partial tuition scholarship from the graduate school, and so all students are automatically considered. Very few students, though, will get any type of scholarship, master's students, that is, from the university. But just wanted to let you know that all students are considered. If you are awarded some type of scholarship, you'll be informed. If you are not awarded, then you will not be informed. So it's you know, one of those kinds of things. But certainly if you have questions, you can go ahead and inquire about that. So at this point in our talk, it's about 10 minutes before the top of the hour. We're happy to answer any questions that you might have for Dr. Sue that are technical and program specific. For Jake Walker, who's our point of contact for the Cooperative Education Program, or if you have questions for James Moxley about the current student experience, feel free to let us know. So let me, and I can represent admissions too, so if you're curious about your status or anything about the admissions process, you can let us know about those questions too. So let me turn off my microphone for just a moment, and we'll see what questions you might have for us. And then, you know, we'll conclude our session in a few minutes.